Vanakkam. Welcome back to our course on SAP Materials Management. So far we discussed regular purchasing processes. From from this session, we will discuss some specific purchasing procedure like scheduling agreement, interplant purchase, subcontracting, and external operations. In this session, we will discuss the scheduling agreement. Before going to the session, let us review the answers for the quiz from the last session. Which transaction is used to see detailed organization-based stock details, MMBE. In this transaction, we can see the stock company-wise, plant-wise, store location, and batch level. Up to this level, we can see. Which transaction is used to get a consolidated report of warehouse stock with quantity and value, MB52. Here we can see the total warehouse stock with quantity and value. Which report is used to get the stock by date? I mean, it is like a date range we can give and see the report. That is MB5B. Which are the various parameters to get a list of material documents through MB51? See, whenever we have any report, selecting the right parameter is very important. We have to understand them. Now this MB51, you can see that we can get the details by selecting the right material, plant, location, batch, or vendor and customer, or based on movement types, or based on special stocks, based on sales order and sales order item, posting date range, username, transaction event. Like this, many options are there. Not only in this report, in all many other reports, all these options are available. We need to explore all these things so that we'll be able to understand them and use them properly. A scheduling agreement is one type of outline agreement. We will discuss in this session how to set master data and execute the scheduling agreement. So let us understand what is outline agreement. An outline agreement is normally referred as a blanket purchase order or an umbrella purchase order. An outline agreement is a long-term agreement between purchasing department and a supplier for materials or services for a defined period. The purchasing department negotiates with the supplier a set of terms and conditions that are fixed for the period of the agreement. There are two types of outline purchase agreements, contracts and scheduling agreements. A contract is an outline purchase agreement against which the purchase orders will be released for the materials or services when the customer requires them. A scheduling agreement is an outline purchase agreement where the purchasing department has arranged to procure the materials based on the schedule agreed between the purchasing department and the supplier. This type of outline purchase agreement, that is scheduling agreement, is useful for customers who operate repetitive manufacturing where the production consumes the same materials each month and they can plan accordingly. Scheduling agreement can be created manually or can be copied with reference to purchase requisition, quotation, and centrally agreed contracts. Before creating scheduling agreement, a purchasing user must define the account assignment, purchasing organization, and purchasing group. Scheduling agreement can be created for regular purchase, subcontracting, consignments, and stock transfers. In this session, we will discuss creation of scheduling agreement for regular purchase. While creating scheduling agreement manually, the users have to enter some details which are required to create the scheduling agreement. To create the scheduling agreement, menu path is shown here, or transaction ME31L is the transaction code to create it. See, you can note it whenever I talk about transactions, I am giving the menu path also. This is to make you to get the practice of reaching any transaction through the menu path. That will help you to find out many other transactions or to refresh you or find out many other transactions which will be more useful to you, which if you are doing only by transaction, you may not get them. But if you go through by menu path, you'll be able to find them and use it. So please always try to use the menu path. We are in the schedule agreement creation page. Now the whatever the reference, reference to purchase requisition, reference to request for quotation, reference to contract, these will be used if you are creating the scheduling agreement with reference to these things. But now we are not going to create them with reference to any document. We are going to create them manually. So we don't refer all these things as of now. But now, since we are creating it manually, we need to enter the details like who is the business partner, agreement type. Agreement type may be LP for a scheduling agreement or LU for the stock transport scheduling agreement. We can also enter the scheduling agreement number, that is the agreement field, if it is an external number to be assigned, and if it is internal, we can leave it as blank. All other details can be entered here, or some details can be entered once we go into the transaction. After entering all the details, press enter to go into the transaction. Next, enter the validity dates of the scheduling agreement and the terms of delivery that have been agreed upon between the purchasing department and supplier. The purchasing department may have agreed on a target dollar amount for the contract, which can be entered into the scheduling agreement. After the header information has been entered, the line items can be entered for the scheduling agreement. So after entering all the details in the header screen, press enter or the icon highlighted. Each line item requires their target quantity to be entered. The target quantity is the quantity that was agreed by the purchase department and the supplier. Enter the details and save the document. A scheduling agreement is created. After creating the scheduling agreement, the delivery schedule has to be maintained. To maintain the delivery schedule for the material in the scheduling agreement, transaction ME38 is used, or the menu bar shown here will be used. The scheduling agreement number and press enter. Line items in the scheduling agreement are displayed. Now select the line item and press the delivery schedule icon, which is shown here in the circle. Shown here, the delivery schedule can be maintained in date or weeks or month formats. Here we see the cumulative scheduling quantity also in the second marked column, and also the total goods used quantity. If there is a goods used already done, that is also shown here. Please note here, the creation indicator column shows how the schedule line was created. Since we manually create the schedule line, where we see our real-time manual. After entering all the details, save. So the scheduling agreement is updated with the delivery schedule. Now the delivery schedule line reflects in the stock requirement list. They appear as a firm procurements as these delivery schedules were created manually. The firm requirement you can see with that each schedule line, schedule line with schedule line item number, they are with a star. So these are all the firm lines. To view scheduling agreements, various reports are there. ME3L is to view by the vendor and ME3M by material and many other reports based on account assignments. Now let us see the report by the vendor through ME3L. Here we see the list of scheduling agreements, which is from the as per the selection parameter. Select a scheduling agreement line and press the delivery schedule as shown here. The delivery schedule is displayed. So from this report, we can see the delivery schedules. Before we discussed the manual creation of delivery schedule. So next we will discuss the creation of delivery schedule through material requirement planning. That is through the planning itself by the system. To facilitate this creation of a delivery schedule through MRP, source list has to be maintained accordingly. In the source list, maintain schedule agreement number and the line item number. And in the MRP column, maintain two MRP relevant to schedule line. Ensure the validity dates align with the schedule agreement dates. These are all the important things how to maintain source list so that the schedule lines will be created by MRP itself by system. Let us see in our test case, let us see this scenario before MRP run. So here there is no stock, nil stock 0. Safety stock 20 is maintained. Already we manually created schedule lines which are 6 numbers, which means that there is a balance of 14 for which schedule line have to be created. So now let us see how it is getting created. So let us run MRP through MD01N. In S4 HANA, we have to use, it is better we use MD01N always to run MRP. Now we run MRP, MRP is completed. So after MRP run, we see the schedule line which is appearing in the stock requirement list. New schedule line is created there. So please note that the new schedule line is not having any firm indicator, but whatever the manually created schedule lines are having firm indicator. So when the system creates the schedule line through MRP run, they will not have the firm indicator. But when we create any manual creation, they will have the firm indicator. This is applicable for your planned order and also for purchase request. When we create them manually, they will have the firm indicator. When they are created through MRP, they will not have the firm indicator. Same thing is applicable here also. Now we are viewing the delivery schedule. No? Here we see the delivery creation indicator B for MRP created schedule lines and R for manually created schedule lines. Also, under the firm indicator column, manually created lines have a firm indicator and MRP created schedule lines do not have the firm indicator. So this is also another important point which has to be noted if you want to understand whether it is manually created or it was created through system. Now let us see how to receive materials against schedule lines. Transaction to receive material you know already, MIGO. So enter A01 goods receipt, R01 purchase order. But in the order field, we have to enter the scheduling agreement number. So enter these three and also the line item number, which line item we are going to receive. So we have to enter them. After entering all these things, we are getting the error. Whenever we get the error, right, please go through the errors and try to find out what is the reason. Right, there is a message here, there is a message number, there are many diagnoses is given. Now put all these things into the internet and there are many answers which are available in the internet itself. You can find out. Don't get stuck. Don't get worried about these things. Answers are available there. Or in the SAP forums, you can raise these questions. There are many people to support. Okay, right. Now let us discuss the issue what we are facing here. In our test scenario, goods receipt we are trying to be posting on 26th August. But the delivery schedule line was planned from 18th September only, which was now after some time. So to receive the metal, we need to update the scheduled delivery date. Change the first schedule date to the current posting date and save the schedule. It is updated now. Now let us perform the receipt of the goods with the required details and details from the delivery schedule lines and the delivery schedule agreement are copied to MIGO. Now you continue to check the details and then post the document. The document will be posted. In this session, we discussed how to create the scheduling agreement, what are the data needed, manual creation of schedule lines through MRP, and also the goods receipt for the delivery schedules. So let us see the quiz questions for this session. What is the difference between the contract and scheduling agreement? What are the details to be maintained in source list for delivery schedule creation through MRP? So we will see the answer for these two questions in the next session. In the next session, we will discuss interplan purchase. Meanwhile, practice scheduling agreement. Please give your feedback to improve the flow and contents of our course. Also, please suggest your friends and colleagues to subscribe to the channel so that they also get the benefit of this knowledge sharing. Thank you. See you in the next session. Take care. Bye.